Hey folks, I am doing this on a single laptop today, so this is a little bit more complicated. There we go. Than I had planned initially. Let me just get back to the top of this. This is the Meteor Lunch and Learn. I don't know if there's anybody in the chat now. Hey folks. All right, so we have not had these lunch and learns in a long time. Um, we kind of stopped around COVID. And I think the notice was on automatic for quite a long time, and we just never noticed that it would kept on going out. And there are a lot of things that have happened since COVID. So for the lunch and learns, we had them for a while. We were going on. COVID happened. I, because of family things and so on, and as many of you have experienced, I also personally suffered some losses during COVID of family members, and and so I have been away, and I am Alim Ghaffar, the lead organizer of the New York meetup. We put this on hiatus for a bit and back. So I don't want to dwell on what's been in the past. What I do want to do is go forward. As I said before, the lead organizer, have been with the meetup for 13 years now. We have seen a number of different iterations of MeteorJS, um, going back to the time when the Meteor Development Group, MDG, started it, released it, and grew it, um, during a period of abandonment to it being picked up by a company called Meteor Software, which was created by a private equity group called Tiny Capital that acquired the Meteor assets from MDG when MDG was no longer interested in carrying this project forward. So, new day. We've got a new team that runs the effort. I was invited to join that team for a bit. I was there as their vice president of community strategy, um, hoping that we could find ways to keep it going, and we have. And so I'm no longer with the team. I'm back on my own. I am doing data science work, but also because Meteor is close and dear to my heart, and I use it from time to time on some existing projects. I have it, but I use it time to time on some other projects. I am still very much involved. Myself and two other community members run a podcast on Fridays called This Week in MeteorJS, which will now be linked to this meetup. So each week you guys can follow along, watch, and see what's going on in the world of MeteorJS. So, having said that, um, we're back with this lunch and learn. And what we're going to do is reacquaint ourselves with MeteorJS, the platform. So, uh, the link to the meetup, if you've gotten here through YouTube and are not a member of the New York City community but want to be, is here. You just go there, sign up, join. Happy to have you. All right. So, quite frankly, there should be a reasonable case as to why anybody should be interested in using Meteor. And let me just go through some of those. And you can find them on the meteor.com website. They're very good about laying these up. It's a platform for building real-time applications, not just real-time applications. That is sort of like its secret sauce. But you can build any kind of web or desktop or mobile application with it. It is a fantastic tool for building applications, taking your ideas, and as we say, getting them from 0 to 60 very, very quickly. So real-time updates are one part of it. The ability to talk between the front and the back end quite securely through its APIs is another. It is front end agnostic. I'll show you in a minute um, some of the different front ends that it ties into. It's very well known for being quite friendly with React. Many developers use React as its main front end tool. It has its own built-in sort of home brewed front end called Blaze.js, which is now its own independent OS project, but OSS project. But again, you can use a number of different ones, including Solid, Vue.js, um, Svelte. So there are some opportunities for using if you have experience with a particular front end and you want to go full stack in building an application, you can go pretty quickly into learning how to use Meteor. Um, Again, if you've got JavaScript experience, I should have said that before. That's one of the prerequisites. You've got to know some Java. Better if you know some Node.js. It's built on Node.js. So better if you know some Node.js. And it uses natively MongoDB as its backend store. So MongoDB, for those of you who know, is a document database, and the query language is written in JavaScript. So it is a unified JavaScript stack, if you want to call it that. Um, and it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to do a lot of context switching from different programming languages. And as I mentioned before, you can build applications for mobile using React Native or Cordova. Those are a couple of ways you could do it, or on the desktop using Electron as the programming or the deployment targets. All right. The Meteor is one of those platforms. MeteorJS is one of those platforms that was one of the first to build a zero configuration, what we call batteries included experience. And you can use everything right out of the box and build your application without having to go and craft a development environment for yourself for your code runner, your bundlers, um, trying to figure out what your middleware is going to be, your backend. All of those things are figured out for you, making it easier for you as a developer to focus on the idea and the problem that you're trying to solve. And finally, because this is JavaScript, JavaScript is notorious because it is a loosely typed language, which means you can declare a variable, use it for one type, say, put an integer into it, and then in the next breath assign a string to it. That can cause a lot of problems downstream. Um, the way that's been solved within the industry is by using a meta language called TypeScript. And so TypeScript has been adopted for use with MeteorJS um, to make your making the platform a lot more type safe. All right. So that's why you might use Meteor is building things really quickly where you don't have to think about a lot of the extra infrastructure that you would normally have to think of if you're doing it with some other JavaScript platform or framework. So what do you integrate with? Well, as I mentioned before, Meteor integrates with React, Vue, Svelte. I mentioned Blaze, which is um, its native front end. And you don't have to use it. You could swap out and use any of these things. In some cases, you can actually blend use of one framework or another. And that's great for if you're starting with one and then you want to gradually, incrementally adopt a different one and transfer off. So those are really, really great tools. Solid is there also as a front end. And then we have other tools. As a build tool, you can use Vite. As a matter of fact, I think the team is looking to replace the current build tool that is integrated into MeteorJS natively with Vite. So that'll be great to see that happen. Um, GraphQL is a layer that you can do talk to any data source. So you're not necessarily restricted to just using MongoDB. You can implement GraphQL and then you're able to get access to things like, uh, you know, streaming data services, or something from Kafka, for instance, getting your data from Kafka or from Redis or Elasticsearch, or you want to get your data from, for instance, a Postgres SQL database. So you can do those things if you implement a GraphQL layer. And there are other user supplied, what we call Atmosphere packages, that will also offer some of these integrations. So where can you see some proof of what applications are out there that are using Meteor? Well, Meteor has a really great website, um, where they showcase some of those, and I'm going to just show you some of those apps that are built with Meteor. Okay, and here we go. So let me just I scroll past. So for instance, Wecken is a Kanban. It's one of the oldest projects that are built on Meteor that is out there that you could take a look at. Um, some of these I know because I've had some dealings with them. Leggy, for instance, is used by private equity to um, for sharing deals and so on. Let me think of who else that I know from this group here that I could talk about. Oh, we can just highlight over this and find out more about them. So, Forage is bite-sized 5 to 6 hour virtual work experience program that gives students a genuine career advantage. Top companies. Flow Hub is apparently something to do with dispensaries. Automates compliance, creates delightful customer experience, and makes every day at your dispensary feel like a breeze. So for those of you in the marijuana business, there's an app that's built with Meteor. One of the oldest and well-known apps that are built with Meteor is Qualia, and it's a real estate closing platform. So for those of you in the real estate industry, you might have had some experience using it. Let's see some other ones here. Anyone I've seen before, and let's see. I don't have my glasses on, so it's kind of hard for me to make out some of these things. Um, so as you can see, there are quite a number of different applications that I think I've used Favreau. I think we use Favreau at Yes. It's a collaboration app. So it's like Trello, Favreau, and we use that at Meteor. Meteor Software was one of the companies that was actually a customer also of this application. So we don't just provide I say we as if I'm still there, but I'm not. But we didn't just provide the platform for people to build things with. We also use the products that people built with Meteor JS at the company. All right. So let me just walk past this. And of course, let me go back to the slides over here. And one of the things you'll see back here is there's a background that's the websites. Um, this is my Flipboard magazine where I keep track of different Meteor applications that I run into. So beyond the showcase, if you were to go on to Flipboard and look for this magazine, Meteor websites, um, you will find that there are a number of different Meteor applications that have been bookmarked, so to speak, in this mag that you can go and check out also. Okay, and from there, if you want to find out more about Meteor, one of the ways to get involved in the community, learn more about um, you know, the product and how people are using it and the issues that they face is join the forums. This is where a lot of the action happens at the Meteor forums. Um, I mentioned before that the meetup that this thing is, this thing I'm doing today, the lunch and learn is happening from is oh, actually this is an old link. Um, I should not be sharing that anymore. Give me 1 second. Let me go and I'm gonna how do I get out of that for a second? So this link here, you should not look at anymore because um, that is no longer valid. So these are the two that you want to go to. We have a Slack channel for the community that if you go to this link below here, you could sign up and join the Slack channel. There's a lot of communication that happens there. And there are also some Discord servers, but from either of these two places, you should be able to get to the community Discord server that allows you to, interact further with the community. I'm go back to the slideshow view. And one of the things I wanted to also point out is we have a recent update. If you want to learn it and get started with Meteor, one of the best places to go is to Harry Adele's tutorial. We just did on it on This Week in MeteorJS last week. That would be episode 70. If you go to our YouTube channel, um, you'll be able to find it. And the way you'll go to the YouTube channel is if you're on this site, if you're on this YouTube channel, um, on the New York City YouTube channel, the episode 70 is already there. If you want to go to the Meteor Community YouTube channel, well, if you are a member of the Meetup and you've gone to the Meetup site and you signed up, the next episode, which is tomorrow, is linked there already. So you will be able to see the link that will take you to the channel, and then you can go back and see episode 70. In any case, I just wanted to show you the the playlist that Harry has put together. He's put a lot of work into this, and it's really great. And so, if you want to get started by building your first Meteor application, you'll notice it says 3.1. There are earlier versions of Meteor that run on a slightly different server architecture. So, if you're building things today, you really want to start with the 3.1 series. And so you'll go here and he'll tell you exactly how to get set up with it and what you need to do. So there is an introduction to Meteor and how to set up your project, understanding how files are loaded and the package.json file that needs to be set up. By the way, I mentioned the reason you see package.json here is because Meteor is a Node application. So Node uses this package.json file. All right. And then we talk about Meteor packages and project structure. There are NPM packages that are part of the Node environment, and then there are very specific packages. MeteorJS has its own package structure, and he goes over that. And then he'll talk about things called Meteor methods, which is how we communicate between there are a couple of ways to do it, excuse me, but it's the main way that we communicate between the client and the server. And then there are server-side method calls, building your basic UI. He goes deeper into explaining the methods and publications because this is a pub/sub architecture. I should have mentioned that. Real-time publications, real-time data with publications, and finally creating the message components and concluding this simple application. The app that he builds with you here is a simple chat application, and it's a great way to understand just how Meteor passes information back and forth and maintains real-time updates across all clients. So if that is exciting to you and something that you're interested in, then dive deeper into Meteor, get started with it. And with that, this is today's episode of Lunch and Learn. So if you want to learn more about Meteor, there's the link. Meteor software now has a new logo, and we're using this across the project. So we'll be doing updates in the future. This Lunch and Learn is brought to you by High Impact Tech. This meetup is owned by High Impact Tech, MeteorJS NYC. And that is really all I have to say right now. In any case, if anybody has anything they want to chat about, I'm going to stick around for a few more minutes, and I'm willing to discuss whatever you might want to in the chat. So I am not sure there's anybody here. There was somebody named Chuba that was had signed up for the meetup. Let me just go back to up and see if Chuba is still there or if he has just signed up and then just didn't attend. So let's see what the story is. And that's quite right because, quite all right. It's the middle of the day, and I know that people are busy, and sometimes you make a commitment to something that you're not able to follow through on, and it's okay. That's why we do this as a video also, so you could go back to it at some future point. So I am not seeing him here. Hey, if you signed up, we are streaming live. I know this is a little after the fact, and perhaps might seem a little unfair. Um, and that's not my intention to be unfair to anybody about this. So, all right, I think I think what we're going to do is we are going to call it a day now. Okay, and thank you so much for joining. And hopefully, you'll get something out of this. And maybe what we'll do is we'll do a standalone video that's a little cleaner, a little, I thought there was going to be dialogue. I thought there was going to be exchange, but there hasn't been today. And that's okay. That's okay. We'll be back again next month doing this. And if you are interested, I would encourage you very much to check out our, hang on one second here. Yikes. What's going on? What is going on here? Check out our channel. Okay, I'm gonna put them both up. There's the lunch and learn. Wait a minute, I took that off. Duh, what happened here? I've been talking and not realizing that my screen share had stopped, right? So let me go back to, here we go. That's where what we should have on the screen right now. Apologies, guys. I'm sorry that we've had like this technical snafu. Um, as I was saying before, we will have another one a month from now, and so you can join us there. Or what you could do is you could join us um, at our channel, right? So our community channel is at MeteorJS NYC on YouTube, and as you can see, this is what's streaming right now. But yeah, it's I don't want to open it because, and you can see by the way that um the next podcast episode for this week in MeteorJS is advertised here. I will show you also the YouTube channel for. Let me just get the meetup page. Also, I could show you the meetup page. So this is. Hang on 1 second here. Let me go here. And so this is the meetup page if you haven't been to it yet. Um, so this is me, Alim Gafar, speaking to you right now. And let's see what we got here. And as you can see, we already have set up the advertisement for the next episode of This Week in MeteorJS. We're talking about the biggest lie that is told about Next.js, and obviously why we think Next.js is not the best solution for all your applications, and where MeteorJS fits in. So hopefully you can make it tomorrow for that. That's at 9 a.m. Eastern. It's not Eastern Standard Time. It's really, isn't it Eastern Daylight Time? I guess it's Daylight Saving Time right now. So yeah, but it's 9 a.m. tomorrow. So there is that. Let me see what else we've got here that I want to share with you. Oh, I said also the MeteorJS community channel. So let me share MeteorJS community. And then I have to go. All right. And so let's share that tab. And so this is what we've been doing for the past, it's actually about 2 years old now. We've done over 100 videos, or about 100 videos. Obviously, 71 of those are live stream episodes. And as you can see, it's this channel is also we are broadcasting both the MeteorJS community channel and the MeteorJS NYC channel. Simultaneously, we'll be doing a multi-stream live cast tomorrow. So these are some of the episodes that we've done recently. I would invite you to go and check them out. Um, it is a much larger catalog than what is at MeteorJS NYC, but I also encourage the folks over at the New York meetup to stick around at the MeteorJS NYC channel. We'll be hosting and providing content there that is not shared on MeteorJS community. So it will have its own very specific identity and content in addition to shared content. And with that, I am going to um, say have a great day, and we'll see you again next week. I'm sorry, next month. All right. Or if you join us tomorrow on the podcast, we'll see you tomorrow. All right. Take care, for folks, and thanks for stopping by.